What's up everybody, it's Connor from Unscripted back with another video. In today's video we have some very important CDL news to talk about, and as always we are doing things off the script. So I know I said the other day I was pretty much done with news videos for the time being, and that is still the plan, but this was a pretty big one and I wanted to share it with you guys. Two big pieces of news we're going to talk about today. As always, don't forget to leave a like down below if you enjoy. Leave a comment as well with your thoughts on the video, on this crazy news, and subscribe to the channel as well if you enjoyed the video and you want to see more from me in the future. I appreciate all of that and it does mean a lot to me, and let's hop right in. So, see the not a very upbeat tone today, and it was just because the news came out from Huke about sort of his time in Dallas, how it ended, why it ended the way it did, his move to LA, and it was very upsetting. I think a lot of people who really care about the scene are very upset by this news, or at least the interpretation of this news, I guess. So basically what happened was Huke had some personal problems. He was on Adderall for a while, on and off, I think he said since he was 18. This video is like 30-something minutes long, so it was a long video. Basically, he was on Adderall for a while, on and off, and then he was on it last year because he felt like he had to be because pretty much everybody else does Adderall, which we'll get to. But he basically, he won chance, but he didn't feel right about it because he knew he was on Adderall while he did it and just didn't quite feel right to him. And he finally got off of Adderall in the off-season this past off-season. He was feeling really good, but he wasn't sure how he was going to play without it. And then he played really well in stage 1, so his confidence was at an all-time high. It was, very good. Then all of a sudden going into stage 2, basically it's like he was getting criticized, almost like people were watching him with an eagle eye, and everything he did, he was getting micromanaged. Just his teammates didn't trust him. They were criticizing him, weren't really giving him a voice and letting him speak, and he didn't like that. And he was just trying to do his best to be a good teammate and do what was best for the team, but eventually it just wasn't working. He said he missed how last year when there was issues, they could just sit down and talk about it, especially him, Shotzi, and Illy, but that was not the case this year. There was really no talking, or at least from his end, there was no talking, and if he did talk, nobody listened. So he was upset. And then, of course, it really got nasty. But I guess people were behind his back saying that he was on, hard drugs like psychedelics. He was abusing psychedelics, and they were calling him Crazy Kyler and things like that. The LA Thieves guys apparently got a hold of that too, and they believed it really without reaching out to him. Basically, he had nobody to talk to. Nobody could reach out to him and try to offer him some sort of help when they knew he had problems. Instead, they just decided to make fun of him behind his back, and it's just ugly to me. It's just a bad look for the scene. It just really is. And, some people's big takeaway is, oh my God, he was using Adderall, that's cheating. I mean, if that's your takeaway, that's horrible. It's just stupid. That is not the takeaway. We all know, if you're watching this video, you probably know that the league is on Adderall. Most, if not all pros are on Adderall. The unfortunate part is that rather than reach out and help, Huke was belittled behind his back and nobody really did anything. And it takes you back to Pharaoh. What about him? The same people who were saying rest in peace to him and reach out and help are the same ones talking about Huke behind his back and making fun of him and not giving him any kind of help. So really unfortunate. I mean, just a bad look for the scene. I'm glad Huke spoke out about it. I really hope that it does lead to some change in the scene because it's a problem. It's an obvious problem, and people know it's a problem, but nobody really does anything about it and trying to fix it. So that's why Huke's time in Dallas ended the way it did, and it did sort of make me believe. It takes me back to this tweet. You remember when Huke announced when he was getting dropped from Dallas, he put this tweet out, and he got one reply from anybody from Empire, and it was Shotzi. So I do think that Shotzi was trying to help Huke, or at least trying to communicate with him and let him have his voice and have his chance to speak. But there's little doubt in my mind that Krim was just not one of the people trying to help. And Hastro, I mean, it's a terrible look for Dallas. It really is, from top to bottom, the whole organization. Hastro looks bad. Krim looks bad. I think everybody but Shotzi looks bad in this. I don't know. Remember when they were saying that this was only for competitive reasons, that they dropped Huke? There are two ways to look at that. Maybe they just didn't want to reveal his problems, which good on them if they didn't want to do that. But also they just didn't want to expose that they were being immature, they were not giving him any kind of support, and the belittling him. So looks bad on them. I don't know. A lot of pros reached out. Parasite said everybody wants to be a champion until it's time to do what champions do. I think he's referring to communicating and being mature and working together as a team rather than just being in your cliques and doing your own thing and treating him badly. So I think that's what Parasite's referencing there. Aqua, he did put a tweet out to Huke that was deleted, but he said he has been clean for a year off of Adderall, so that's good on him. And then he said, for the new generation of COD players, all you need is passion and love for the game, not Adderall. Never thought I'd have to tweet this. So he's been off it for a year. I know Zero said he's been off of it since Black Ops 3. That is good. Doug Sensor Martin put out a big tweet here, a long video talking about how it's not necessary and how it was in the scene when he was in the scene and he never felt the need to do it. But it's unfortunate that so many people do feel the need to do it. And that's just how I think. It's just a really bad look for the scene. I think, personally, my feelings are keep a close eye on who shows Huke love, who gives him some respect, and who doesn't. I think the people who aren't going to show him any love are kind of mad he's exposing the scene for how it is. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I don't expect to see the FaZe guys reaching out. I don't expect to see a lot of guys reaching out because they don't want the scene exposed for what it is, and they're probably on Adderall themselves and don't want people knowing, even though we all kind of know by now. So that's my take on that. Really, really unfortunate situation. I am very glad Huke spoke up and tried to shed some light on this issue in the scene. A lot of immaturity, I think, from all sides of this. Maturity from Huke's side, but nobody else. Dallas couldn't even tell him that he was benched. Basically, Hastro had to call him or text him. I guess he found out from his little brother that he was being benched, and then he reached out to his teammates and got a reply from Hastro instead. So a whole lot of immaturity on Dallas' side, and I'm glad that Huke seems to be in a better place in LA now and has a more supportive cast around him, which brings me to the next piece of news. So sort of moving on from that Huke news, but definitely not forgetting about it. That is the big news of the day. It's much more important than any kind of a roster move or anything like that. The scene needs help, for sure. So that is the big news. But then moving on to the news that will actually affect the games we see this weekend. The LA Thieves announced a new roster once again. For the 15th time this season, they have a new roster. It will be Kenny, it will be Huke, he is back, Slasher, and TJ. So we have not seen Slasher for a long time. It has been, I think, it was stage 2 before the major that Slasher got benched. We haven't seen him since. The meta has changed, teams have changed, a whole lot has changed since then. But Slasher is back, Huke is back. Slasher wasn't really that good this year. I mean, he wasn't bad, but he definitely was not how he used to be in his prime or anything. So we'll see how he does now. I guess he'll resume main AR position or main AR role. Kenny will switch back to the flex, and then Huke and TJ on the subs, of course. Really unfortunate for Draza. I think he's the big loser here. He was playing really, really well this year. He's been a really good flex. I almost wonder if he'd be a better SMG option than TJ. I see why they did it, though. Their focus is definitely LAN. You'll see that in some of the tweets they've been putting out. Nate Shot says here, but I know we have shifted this roster around quite a bit this year with a variety of talented Call of Duty players, but with LAN events back on the horizon, we decided to fill a lineup with star-studded veteran talent with proven results. So that's what they're referencing LAN. That's what's in their mind. That's why Slasher is back, I think, and why Huke is back and why Draza had to go, even though he was playing really well. The LA Thieves guys like Nate Shot and JCap were defending Venom a lot too. Now he's gone, so I think they're just going the veteran route and seeing if something can work out on LAN, maybe get something to stick. Because like I said the other day, this team's just been throwing stuff at the wall all season long, trying to get something to stick, and it really hasn't yet. We'll see if this one works. I think this team has a very high ceiling for sure. I think if they play the way we know these 4 players are all capable of playing on LAN, this can be a very, very good team. But Draza was sort of one of those players. I think Draza is kind of like a glue piece, kind of like TJ is too. Draza holds the team together. He does a lot of different things that might go unnoticed. He makes a lot of plays. It might not fill the stat sheet, but does a lot for a team. So we'll see if they, miss out on that. Hopefully, I mean, Huke, if he's playing at his best, that makes his team so much better. Kenny has been one of the best ARs in the league all season long. So Slasher and TJ, all eyes on them. Mostly Slasher, I'd actually say. All eyes on Slasher. If he plays well, this team's very dangerous, especially with the move back to LAN. But if he does not play well, this team might not be very good because we know Slasher teams are not really known for their good vibes and positive energy. So we'll see how that goes. JCap says here too, it's been a roller coaster every year, but hoping we can turn stage 4 around and make something happen with this new lineup for the last few tournaments. I would assume this will be their lineup the rest of the way. If it's not, I don't know. I mean, if this really just blows up in their face, I guess I could see them making another change. But if it gets to that point, they're probably going nowhere this year because this is probably, on paper, the best lineup they can possibly field. So if this one doesn't work out, none of them are going to work out. And then that's a whole nother story about coaching, about management, about whatever else. But for now, we'll see how this roster does. Slasher put out a tweet here. He just said this. He's back. That's all. Hopefully it loads. There we go. Thanos is back. So we'll see how Slasher does, though. It's good to see him. Everybody loves Slasher. I mean, he was one of the guys that, with the Adderall thing, going back to that with Huke, he's been speaking out against it since day one. So it's kind of just how this all came full circle. Huke is back. Slasher's back at the same time. Slasher, anti-Adderall, all that stuff. But things really came full circle today. Crazy day for news, and we would just see how LA Thieves does and how Huke does on the sticks. But more importantly, we hope Huke keeps doing well in real life, and he keeps getting the help he needs, gets back on track, and stays on track the way he was, for most of the year before the whole Dallas snaking situation, whatever you want to call it. So that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like down below. Leave a comment as well with your thoughts on the news today, and subscribe to the channel as well if you want to see more videos from me in the future. I'll actually be back tonight with a completely unrelated non-news video about one of the teams in the CDL, so be on the lookout for that. But that's going to do it for this video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.